Alright, so welcome back to some more Monster Energy Supercross, the official video game. Today we're going to check out 5 different versions of Glendale 2019. Now, they're in no particular order, and you should see the name of the creator pop up on screen here every time we switch over to a new track. None of these tracks were made by me, they're all from PlayStation 4, and they are all versions of 2019 Glendale. Some of them, I mean, it's kind of... I suppose it's kind of up to the creator to how they interpret it, but I mean, the basic layout had to be the same. You had to go look at the track map and then try to replicate that the best you could. I believe that this one was probably one of the more fun but more difficult ones, just because some of the really big lines you could hit, even if they're not realistic, were still really tough to get. And the way he built this track might not be the most realistic way. I mean, the layout looks really good. I think he basically made it resemble the track map. So it's really good. It's just, I feel like some of the stuff isn't going to be this big. I mean, I don't think it's going to look quite like this in real life. But as far as fitting the video game, I think he did a heck of a job. I mean, this triple here, and there's another Supercross triple, which is interpreted really different from, depending on who made the track. You'll see that here as we go along. But the Supercross triples were kind of tough to get. This quad section was really tough to get. And I believe it's a triple and a quad into the corner. So, I don't know. I just don't know. I don't think it's going to be like that. I think they'll probably have to jump through that a bit slower than we did in the video game. But again, just as far as the video game goes, it was quite fun. And make sure to let me know in the comments. I mean, you don't have to rank them. I'm not really ranking them. I do have a favorite. I will tell you which one was my favorite. But let me know in the comments which one was your favorite, or which one you thought resembled Glendale 2019 the best. My favorite isn't necessarily the best representation of Glendale, but it just, man, it was so much fun and it worked really good. And I believe that's the second track. So yeah, here's the first version we are checking out for Glendale 2019, and we'll switch over here as soon as this lap finishes to the second one, which again, I believe is my favorite. Okay, so here's the second track of the 2019 Glendale replica that we're going to check out today, the second of 5. And this is my favorite one. I did play it back to make sure, but this is my favorite one. His layout is really, really good. It's like pretty much as close to being realistic as you could get. I don't believe he overscaled anything too much. I mean, we were hitting some pretty big lines there, but I don't feel like it's overscaled. Now, this section here, this back-to-back section here, should actually be in front of the starting gate, but I'm not going to fault him because most everybody put it behind the starting gate. Otherwise, you ran out of room and you just couldn't fit everything where it needed to be. There's a version of Glendale 2019 that we check out today here in this video where they ran it in front of the start gate, but they ran out of room, so they had to cut corners on the rhythm sections, which I wasn't a huge fan of. So yeah, I think his rhythm sections worked really good. I mean, there was a bunch of different timings you could take through them. It wasn't always one set way. It had the big line, obviously, but the big line was really, really hard to get sometimes, and so you just kind of settled for something else. Now, these little triples here before the finish line, I feel like they're scaled kind of tiny. I feel like they should be a little bit bigger, and then he just kind of used the whoop for the 4 jumps there. He does have the Supercross triple here, and I do like that he has the Supercross triple after the step-on tables, because it looks to me like it should be. Some people didn't interpret it like that, but for me, I did. Just overall, I think it's the best overall 2019 replica out of the ones we're checking. There was less on PC, but on PlayStation 4, I bet there was 2019 Glendale replicas out there, and some of them were very similar, and then some of them were just like, ooh, you know, I just even checking out the preview picture was like, is that really Glendale 2019, or is that just like I made a track and called it Glendale 2019, you know what I mean? So I went through most of them. It took a long time and picked out my favorites, and this was my favorite one. I don't know if I mentioned it. The small whoops here don't really bother me. It could have been big whoops, but I think one of the biggest things that it just slightly bothers me. It's kind of cool that it's a wheel tap there, but those back-to-back baby like step up over triples, I wish they would have been something a little bit bigger, but maybe he just didn't have the room. And this triple is sometimes kind of tough to get to. You just got to get a good run out of that corner. Let's see what we hit here. So we went triple, triple. And you could 5 that. Okay, I think I mentioned that. You could 5 it. I think we got really close. I highly doubt they're going to be doing that in real life, but you never know. You never know. I've seen some guys pull some crazy, insane lines, but I just don't feel like they're going to do that. I can see them maybe going triple, triple, double, or having some kind of double in there and then turning it into triple, triple, triple out. Yeah, I guess I really don't have much else to say about this track. It was my favorite one. Pretty convincingly. If there's another one that I remember liking a whole lot, I'll mention it, but this was pretty convincingly the one that I thought was put together the best and the most fun with the game, while having a nice combination of looking kind of like the actual replica. So we'll let this lap finish out, and then we will switch over into our third version of 2019 Glendale. Okay, so here is Jesse's track. You should see his gamer tag coming up on screen here in a second. This track was kind of similar to the first one, where it was just a bit tough. I mean, Jesse's a really good player at the game. He plays a lot. He's like level 10,000 in the game. All right, I'm over-exaggerating a bit, but he's really high in the game. And so the way he builds tracks, for him, what is fun might be tough for other people. And I'm very casual and average in the game. But I think he did a good job. I think he found that balance between being tough but not so tough that people such as myself can't get through his track, get around his track, and still enjoy it. Now, that wasn't really a Supercross triple. The takeoff wasn't. So in his interpretation of it, he thinks there's only going to be, I guess, one actual Supercross triple on the track. I really don't know. His rhythm sections are scaled really well. There's multiple ways through them. It's more of a realistic feel to it. I mean, that first track was kind of overscaled a bit. Now, that triple and then the triple before this finish line, I really, really do enjoy it. The triple before the finish is kind of tough. If you don't get that, you're just kind of... You're going to struggle. You're going to struggle with the rest of the track there. But if the track before... Jesse's track here would have had those same triples by the finish line, it would have been maybe not perfect, but it would have been really, really good. I thought that was the perfect scaling for it. And then we get through that really well too. So Jesse's sections here too were also really close to the back of the starting gate, so it was even closer to the realistic feel because, again, they should have been in front, but it would have been impossible. You would have had to cut out all this here. And this section worked really, really good too. In my opinion, I think that's going to be a Supercross triple. It's really close, but the takeoff is a tiny bit smaller. The way it cuts back down backwards on the track here, he did a really good job with this. He's got both those inside rollers there. And then what are we going to do here? We're going to drop a triple, 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 double. So realistically, I could see something like that happening. We'll just have to wait and see on Saturday, and then he's got the big whoops here. But yeah, let's switch over into the fourth track. Jesse, really good job. I thought it was very maybe one of the best as far as feeling realistic and just kind of having that replica feel to it. So yeah, let's switch over to the fourth one and see how good that track is. Okay, so here is the fourth version of 2019 Glendale. I don't know if I said that we were jumping to the last version earlier, but I made a mistake. This is only number 4. We have number 5 yet to go through. This track actually runs back and forth in front of the starting gate the way it should. The overall layout of the track is really well done. The problem is, to put this back and forth section in front of the starting gate, he had to sacrifice putting jumps in. Here, you should have the step on, step on, step off into the Supercross triple, but he didn't have enough room, so it's only one time. There's other instances of that on that first rhythm section off the starting straight. that doesn't have enough jumps in it. I believe this one does, and this rhythm section actually works really, really well. I believe we get it a couple times. It worked really, really well. I mean, he kind of had to make it smaller by putting in 3 whoops at the end instead of really jumps, but overall really good. The big whoops work good. He has these nice pre-made back-to-back triples, and I don't really have a problem with it. It actually works really well into the finish line. I believe there should have been 4 there, but he put 3, just a small thing, doesn't really matter. It could very well just be 3 in real life. They might not even have that there in real life. That's one of those sections that easily could just get taken out, you know, when they're trying to build it. That rhythm section didn't have enough jumps in it. It just straight up did not, but he's also, again, he had to stop sooner because of where he put this section. As far as hurting the track, I think the step on, step off part was the worst because it's step on, step off. There should be a double into the step on, step off, and then into the Supercross triple. So he's missing quite a bit there. But overall, his name, I mean, hey, you got to give it to him. He did name the track Almost Glendale. I believe that's what the name of the track actually is, Almost Glendale. So yeah, really good job, dude. I don't know if you're seeing this, but if you happen to, really good track. Let this lap finish out. Then we will be jumping over into the final version we have to show you of 2019 Glendale. Okay, so here's the 5th and final version of 2019 at Glendale, and it's very similar to some of the other versions we've shown you already. I don't have much to say about it. It was really well done, but I kind of want to use this last little bit here to talk about Anaheim 1 a little bit, real life Anaheim 1. Okay, yeah, I know I should probably make that clear. Just kind of a recap, and then what my predictions are for Glendale this weekend. So Colt Nichols, Ferrandis, and McElrath were the podium in the 250 class. Barsha, Roczen, and Tomac were in the 450 class, the podium. And I'm not too surprised because the 250 class, there was relatively not too much drama. The only drama really was that Cian Cirillo came in a little bit hard on RJ Hampshire. And then in the next corner, apparently Hampshire didn't enjoy that and came in even harder on Cian Cirillo. Almost took both of them out, but ultimately ended up just being Adam Cian Cirillo that ended up going down, and then they stay in their respective positions. They didn't. He wasn't able to make a pass on him again or anything like that. So the 250 class, not too much. 450 class, Wilson was actually leading with Malcolm Stewart chasing him for most of the time, and then Stewart just kind of fell over in a corner trying to go for a pass, kind of, and that was kind of it. Let's see what else. Dean ended up falling back to 4th. 5th, I believe, was Webb, and Webb is worth noting because he came from quite a ways back and was flying. He was absolutely flying. Plessinger was the best out of the rookies, finishing, I believe, 6th. Yeah, 6th. And also worth noting is Muscan didn't do very well, and Anderson just, I don't know what it is. I really believe that he finished 14th. I really believe that he could win a second championship if he wanted to. But everything that he says and the way he talks, it's like, I really think it's pressure on him. I think it's pressure that he won last year, and he feels like he needs to do it again, so he's just like, I don't know. Like, I'm going to do my own thing. If I don't want to do good, I'm not going to do good. Because we all know Anderson can ride better than that. And it was just, I don't know, it was really strange. We'll see how it is the rest of the year, but I feel like he's just, something's messing with him in his head. I think it's a mental issue, not a physical issue. Which seems weird because he hasn't really seemed like that before until now. But my picks for Glendale would be 250 class. You know, I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna go Cian Cirillo. I really think Adam's probably the fastest guy out there. Oh wait, we can't call him by their first name because that's too cringy. Cian Cirillo is probably the fastest guy out there, but I don't know. Things happen to him. He also gets hurt really easy. He gets hurt without crashing, so I don't know if he'll win the championship, but I can see him winning this weekend. The only other person that I could see definitely probably doing it would be McElrath. I think McElrath is probably one of the most consistent, so we'll see. Either one I'm fine with, but I see seeing Cirillo getting the win in the 250s. And in the 450s, you know, last year Barcia did really, really well there. Barcia's got that taste of a win now. Yeah, I'm going to call it. I'm going to go with Barcia 2 weekends in a row. It might be a little crazy, but we're going Barcia 2 weekends in a row. So that's the end of the video. You guys and girls are absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for the support on the channel lately. And until the next video, take it easy.